house cleaning and how we can actually learn to like it. So, and how we can prep ourselves for, mentally getting it done. So I want to wait for a couple women to get in because I know the notification just went out, and we will get started. If you are new to me, so for any of the replayers and anyone who is new, hi, Jenny. I just want to welcome you to the Planner Perfect community. My name is Jenny Penton, founder of Planner Perfect and Project Me here on Facebook, and Designs by Planner Perfect, where I teach women how to write a better story for their lives, and have created planners, unique planners that help you attain your goals. Hi, Jody. I'm hopping on today to talk about house cleaning. Let's talk about it because it's been a really big thing that's kind of been actively going on in the group. I had a gal ask, what do you do if you don't even like to clean? How do you change your mindset on it? And we're going to really kind of talk about that for a little bit because I believe it's the heart of the matter that underlines a lot of the things that we really want to have to, we want to be able to be organized, yet we don't like to do it. One of those kind of things. So let's talk about it briefly today to start off our day. Hopefully to get you pumped for your week. Hi, Jan. How are you? Jean, from Florida. Oh, I bet it's beautiful right now. We're having one nice day out of the week right now that's beautiful and close to 70. Otherwise, it's been really cold and rainy. So in Nebraska here. But I want to welcome everyone to the community. I hope everyone has gotten their boxes, their subscription boxes, and are loving them. I thought the June cover turned out really, really beautiful and fun to dive into, and everyone is really liking the new layout. So I want to dive into the house cleaning. Now, over in Project Me is where we do book clubs and we talk about ourselves and self-care and the wholeness and wellness of women. And I do that over in Project Me. If you're not over there, get on over there. We also talk about, diet, everything, where we can be our best version of ourselves. Right now, we're really focusing on taking care of the home, and we're doing that just in the whole community as a whole. If you're not following me over on IG, on Instagram, do, because that's where I do daily stories of my life. I mean, it is from the moment I wake up till the time I go to bed, how my planner helps assist me in accomplishing my goals. So, and house cleaning is one of them. So one of the questions was, and also if you don't know, we're following the book Clean Mama, okay? I pulled some pointers from her in terms of what to do daily to upkeep, and I liked her regiment the best. And if you think about it, you really don't need someone to kind of do that for you, yet it's kind of cool. It's a shortcut. It's kind of okay, it worked for her. I'm going to try it. And guess what? I tried it and I really like it. There's other ways to do stuff and to clean. And I really, really, really liked this, where it just seemed feasible and doable. And it really, really is. And once you get in there and start cleaning, it gets easier and easier and easier to upkeep. You really eliminate the overwhelm where you're kind of staring at your house and you're just oh gosh, you know what I mean? You got lots to tackle. So what do you do if you really don't like cleaning? A gal had asked that. What do you do? It's a battle that you don't like to clean. So this is coming from a former woman who, though I kept my house picked up, I really didn't like the whole process of deep cleaning. I really, really didn't. And there's always some resistance in our minds at some point on things, okay? And there is nothing wrong with getting help, hiring help. I mean, I'm one of them. Once I was able to eliminate it and hire someone in to do it for me. But there was a part of me that wanted to really take it back again, to be able to, I feel, take control over my own home and get in there. And there's something very inspiring and empowering about doing that. There's nothing wrong with obviously giving it up because I've done that. But when I really got back and took it back, it's it's an empowering thing to do. It also keeps you, no one's really going to get in there and get it as clean as you anyway. And we all know what it's like to really get it deep cleaned. Right, Kimberly, there you are. I'm glad you're on. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, because I feel if there's something that you just want to unload, then you can do it. However, if that kind of that also though, if you want to take it on, I think it's important. Something I remember my mom told me, she goes, I remember a gal came over, this is when I was little though, and a gal had come over to my mom's house. And she said, wow, how do you get your floors so clean? They look amazing. I was like, good old elbow grease. That's what. I get on my hands and knees and I wash them. And the gal said, oh, well, forget that then. And so, but the moral of the story is anything that looks really great, anything that you want to accomplish and do, anything that you really, really want, is going to take some work. Anything where you feel a resistance to, such as, well, I don't want to go that extra step. I don't want to do this. I don't really want to do this, yet you want the end result. Some of the times it's a good thing to reflect on and to see if there's resistance in that area that maybe you ought to be working on and doing it anyway. I think for me, it was one of those things like, Jenny, you need to get in there and get a hold of that yourself and do it anyway. And I looked back and I saw where there was some resistance to stuff of why I didn't want to do that. And that was my whole motherhood. And again, I would have a clean home. I was really good at keeping things organized and clean. But when it came to the deep clean stuff, I wouldn't do it and didn't have a schedule in a way that really made me feel empowered. It was more of a just get her done. My mindset wasn't all the way there. So I've discussed with you one of the ways my mom always had done it, which really helped inspire her to keep a clean home. It's just really fully embracing being the manager of your home. It's really, really empowering if you think about it. So if you can do that, it's like the gateway, in my opinion, to accomplishing personal goals, because you're a go-getter and you get them done. Even if you don't want to do it, those are the things you really probably should be doing. And it's just, when it comes to exercising and taking care of your body, when it comes to listening to your body and not overeating, when it comes to anything, hi Lori, when it comes to, when you really want to write a book, but you just don't want to do it, when you really want to cook and you really like the idea of baking bread, but you just don't want to do it, it's those tough things right there that means you really probably should be trying this out and doing it. If the end result is what you want, then you should do it. I feel like once you've accomplished those kind of things, and then if you're at a point where, in the season of your life where it's just like it's game on and you're on book tours right now and you need someone to help you clean your house, or even on a different level where it's like, okay, you know what? I really love taking care of my home, but I could use a little help. I feel like that's when it feels like that's a good time. The end results are amazing. I think definitely, Kimberly, it's a mindset. Now, what my mom did, these are great tips, is that my mom always lit a candle first. Okay, it was a big deal. It was like, and when you break it down, it's not overwhelming. My mom used to do it where it was a full Saturday, you clean from top to bottom. And believe you me, no one hated it more than me, okay? And I think just as a kid, you don't care about how your house looks. I mean, you like it clean, but you certainly don't want to take part in the cleaning process. My mom pulled me in, man, and I was in there from 7 a.m. to like 10 p.m. in these big homes we had, and it was a nightmare, okay? I didn't like it, and I feel like that was probably part of my resistance to why I didn't like it today, is that I just was like, I'm not doing it, but I think I looked at it and I was like, whenever you got feelings that you think about that kind of bug you sometimes, it's always good to pay attention to them, look at them, forgive them. And I'm not saying my mom was even wrong to be forgiven. Just forgive the situation and then move on, because then it changes that thought pattern. So when you've got stuff like, I hate this, or, oh, I remember that happened, or this happened, or that's just stuff that's making you try to get your attention. So always look at it, and then look at it for what it is, feel it, forgive it, and then let it go. Move on, because you don't want to hold on to records of past. You want to be able to get rid of resistance and move on to the forward future. And I know I'm spiritualizing this and it's sounding crazy, but these things are all emotional and spiritual journeys. Everything we're accomplishing and doing they're a heart thing. It's not the physical act of, oh gosh, here we got to go clean the toilet. No, we're CEOs of the home, and we care for it, we clean it, we're taking it very serious, and we're going to do it, we're going to do it well. We're not going to just go swish around, there you go. We're going to do it well, we're going to do it right, because we set a precedent for how we attack everything in our lives. And I think that's where I'm coming from. From cleaning the toilets, to taking care of the home, to raising our children, to forming relationships, to good old Saturdays was the cleaning day. How about? Yes, that was it. My mom's like, maybe I'll buy some pizza at 10 p.m. I'm like, woo, woo, woo. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, everyone is boating. I was like, why did I get stuck in here? But yes, it was Saturdays was the big old cleaning day. So I think it sets a precedent for how you live your life in general. I just want you to look at it. I want you to look if you have a stumbling block and don't want to attack it. You can hire it out. You can hire it out. But I think we'll always come back to, what if I did do it? What if I tried it in a mindset that was empowering to me? Because it does feel very empowering. This is coming from an ex-person who also hated it as well, but did it, but the whole heart wasn't in it, and it was a nagging feeling. Once I took it over, my whole house got deep cleaned, because, they'll deep clean it, and then I would get lazy in like the deep cleaning of the freezer, or the deep cleaning of a closet, or this or this. But when you stay on top of it and you're the manager of the home completely, and you are the one who's setting day-to-day assignments to get things done and tackle it, whether you really feel like it or not, and you're getting it done, you feel good when you're done, you see what else needs to be done, you get thoroughly cleaned out, you live more minimally without living with junk that you have that have been used in 10 years, you gain momentum, and you start tackling the garage, something you never thought you would do. Usually I'm like, husband job, I don't care what it looks like, I'm not touching it. But you know what? Now I'm like, I'm getting out there. This girl, she's getting her hair in a bun, and she's going to go out there and haul her boys out there, and we're going to clean the garage. We're going to go have some fun, and we're going to clean it. And so it's just one of those things where you start to gain momentum. Light a candle, get new cleaning supplies, get a fresh caddy, buy the very best candles. Well, if you're always cleaning, then I feel like, and especially if you don't have any kids at home, Kimberly, then why are you always cleaning? Because then you need a new system. That's my opinion. Because you shouldn't be always cleaning. Because let me tell you something. For a woman who's got a lot of kids, a huge house full, toys all over the place, I don't always clean. I get it done. Now on those deep clean days, well, if then that's something then that needs to be looked at. Why do you have that? Those are the kind of things I'm talking about right there, and you nailed it on the head. Is I really feel like, what are the underlying reasons why you feel everything has to be just so and so clean like that? There's always an underlying reason for the things that we're doing, and they're awesome to take a look at why. Why do I feel this way? You'll get told, open up the can of worms and just find out why. Find out why you've got that kind of a deal going on, and handle it. Look, and when I say handle it, you don't got to go rehash stuff and go sit in therapy. I'm talking about really looking at why, what the reasons are. They'll come up to you once you start asking those questions. And it'll be something where you need to look at it, and you can forgive it, and you can move on. I'm telling you, it's freeing. It's freeing. And it's just really time to look at what's inside. It's a heart thing. That's what I'm really trying to get at. If someone has such resistance to something like this, there's a reason why. And something as benign as, you didn't like being controlled when you were little to clean, can be something as easy as my mom just wanted a clean home. I love my mom. I forgive that scenario. And Jenny, you're doing this in your own free will because you want to have a clean home. Just that mind shift was everything it took, was all I needed to be like singing in the home. And it's just to look back with your mop and say, wow, it's fresh and clean. So when it comes to you, if you feel like you've always got to be on it, and how do you have OCD and hate it at the same time? Thank you, Michelle. I mean, how does that play? I mean, so if you don't like to do it, yet you feel like you have to do it, or how is that working? Because I'm a little confused, but yet I'm not an OCD expert. However, I mean, my brother had that really, really bad. So I know it can play out in different ways. But it's something that you really need to dissect and find out about yourself. You just really, really do. And once you do, you can forgive it and you can let it go. So then you can move on. Don't stuff it down. Don't remember it and then try to push it down. You do have to look at it at face value, and you have to feel it, and then you have to forgive it and move on, because our mind is really just a record of the past. And the more we keep thinking about the past and thinking about how much we don't like stuff and think about this and think about that and think about this, those are just records and snapshots of the past. We want to be able to be living presently, living in the now. And that takes, when those kind of things pop up all the time, it takes looking at them and forgiving them and then putting them back and letting them go and saying goodbye and being able to move forward, because you've got so much forward to be doing. You've got, and it starts with just cleaning your home in an un-OCD way. I mean, and that's where it begins. You're already in a spiritual awakening just by this moment. I'm telling you, the little things is where it's all at. That's when you got resistance, or you feel like you're a yeller at your kids too much, or you feel like this is happening, or you get resistance to when your husband says a certain thing, or those are the precise things that we need to look at and find out why. You don't got to dig hard or whatever. I'm saying really looking at the stuff. That's why meditation is really great, and your prayer life is great when you're doing devotions and you're digging in, and when you're really thinking about when something is negative that you keep thinking about, and you keep thinking about it, it's time to actually look at it and then forgive it and let it go. Those are the things that we got to do so we can move forward. Sometimes that's all it takes. So lighting a candle. Well, I know that if I move something, then I'll have to clean behind it. Oh, if I can put this thing where it belongs. So, and there's nothing wrong with having things clean and tidy. And yes, if you move it, it's going to be dusty. I think sometimes, here's the biggest thing that I've learned. The biggest thing to create change in your life without having, and I'm going to answer the question about my kids helping cleaning in a second. The biggest way to get over something that you're stuck on is to shock your mind into something different that you have resistance to. And this is one way you can break a bad habit, okay? And that is, well, there's hypnosis, okay? There's also where you can look at something, if it's more benign, you can look at it, forgive it and move. You can, through meditation, EFT can help. Have you guys heard of emotional freedom technique? You can look that up. That's another way of changing resistance that you might have. Wow, the sun went behind a cloud. And then there's also like a way to shock it. So when I say this, I've done this on several occasions and it's really awesome. But you just act and do and behave in a way that you've never done before, and you just shock your system. And so all of a sudden, Kimberly, you just like, you know what? I'm a cleaner now. I deep clean, and I don't freak about it. I just love a clean home, and I love the idea of moving things out of the way and cleaning it. And you just move everything off your shelf. You just take it all off, just strip it naked, and then you just start cleaning, and you just clean it up and make it fresh and put it away in a different way. And you shock your system. That is one way to just jolt change, okay? And continue to do that. And I would say within the month, you'd be completely a new person when it came to how you view cleaning your home. It's just a matter of changing brain set type of patterns and how the mind works. So shocking yourself and diving into a new way to be is another way to do it. So you can try that. That would be awesome. Do my kids help me clean, deep clean? No. Having 8 kids and a grandbaby, 3 of them are married, but with the top 4 kids, I used to do the chore chart thing, monitor them kind of a thing, scrub the toilet, and they never did a good job, and so we'd have to redo it 10 times. Over it, totally over it, and I'm over it again, okay? I don't know if it's just where I'm at in my life, but I do have learned quite a bit, and I don't know, I really want to take that part. I want to handle that part in a clean sense. I want to take care of it. When it comes to pitching in and helping, my kids pitch in and help all the time, but it's not in a structured, scheduled, controlled matter. It's more of a help out, take care of the baby, take the baby outside, go over here, play with Blaine, how about you pick up your room, you'll feel better, that kind of a thing. Majority of my ladder of kids are boys, and I do have one son who's very clean and tidy. I don't have to, he's just like clean and tidy. He's like, what's that mark on the wall? Kimberly, he's like you. I keep trying to, I need to do EFT because it is a little much, but he's like, why is there a mark on the wall? I was like, I don't know. And I mean, feel free to clean it. So he's over there like cleaning it like he's 15. Good, Kimberly, good. Honestly, this is something you can totally do. And I feel that it's good to accomplish because it really helps you feel like you're a good steward of your home. And you'll just feel good at the end. And I know you know that already. You'll feel good being a good steward of your home. I clean a little every day and try to relax and let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. That's and I'm cleaning a little bit every day, and that's what does it for me. And at the end of the day, I'll clean up all of the little toys and things that kids do. Not a biggie to me. I let the mess, that kind of stuff really that's not even dirty. And I'm talking about kids here, but kids are just playing, and that's part of life. I just let that be. But when it comes to deep cleaning, that's a whole different category. You know what I mean? That's just picking up. And so I'll pick up at the end of the day, and I'll have kids help me pick up. Waylon's like the Tasmanian devil. So I have my children help and participate in those kind of ways. Like, hey, let's plant flowers today. Help me plant flowers. I get them inspired, and I want them to help me on their own accord. If I have someone who's like, I honestly, I'd rather have someone who wants to. I more or less try to inspire by the environment what we're doing than make people do things. I just don't roll that way. But 9 times out of 10, my children are very eager to help because of that reason, that I don't demand something of them. I'd have to say it's once in a blue moon that, once a month or something, when I'm on my period or something, I'm like, you know what, some things are going to change around here, and then I start getting all sassy. But other than that, I'll be very, hey, can you help me out here? This would be great. Then we can get out the door quick. When you approach things like that, or hey, can you help me here? Can you pick this up and let's get going there? I was like, yeah. Or hey, grab these socks, pick this up. Can you help me here? And it just works. It just works. Kids are just really able to, let me get that. They're just, when there's not a whip in your hand, that kind of thing. So that works for me. And when I'm on this great schedule, it keeps me, it's orderly. and it keeps the rest of your day in tune. Like today's my vacuum day, and I've already mapped that tonight I will do my vacuuming. It's so beautiful out today, and my vacuuming, though most of my house is hardwood, I still don't want to tackle that during the day because it's so nice out. So we're going to be doing some fun things outside. We're going to actually even clean the car. See, Kimberly, I've moved into the garage, and it's a good thing. This is also what I've learned, is that it's a very, very important to take care of the things that you have. And whenever you know how when you want something new, and this was something that I'd struggled with before, and I've really have overcome it, is that I had phases where, you know, you just kind of like, I really wish I had a new washer and dryer, or I really wish I had a new car. Who drives a junker like this? You know, that would be my mindset, you know, like, why do I have to have this? I mean, I don't understand. I just would be a brat, you know, in my mind, I'm a brat, you know, and it showed in how I cared for things, you know. Instead, you take that tried and true, that washer and dryer that may not look very pretty, but you keep it clean and tidy, and you take care of it because you love and take care of the things that you have in order to even have anything that is new. You need to love what you have, love the home that you have. You need to be a good steward and care for the things that you're blessed with in order to even get anything more. It's the laws of God. I mean, you need to have gratitude. It's a way of expressing gratitude and expressing how you're blessed to have what you have when you care for the things that you have well and in the best, highest way possible. And it's just when I started doing that, did I feel, it's just like, it's a heart thing. You got that love going on. You feel such gratitude and blessed that car took you around all these years with all your kids, and you're cleaning it up even though you wish you had a new one. You don't care anymore. You don't care about you just love what you have, and you feel blessed what you have because you know God takes care of everything and knows every desire of your heart anyway. So your job is to care for what you have in the best way possible. No drinks, no food. Yeah, you probably want to start to ease down just a tad, just to loosen up a little bit, loosen the strings, loosen up. Listen, you should have a bazillion kids because that's how I learned to just let it go. I think even one kid can teach you that. Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Oh, pop spilled, let it go. Who cares? But it's just, you can come back and you take care of it and you clean it and you're taking care of it. And I think that goes in part with everything. So when you take care of everything, when you cook for your family, when you are taking care of your home, when you're doing everything, you're doing it from a point of just love, gratitude, and just being a good servant of what you've been given and taking good care of it. Because that's just proving that you can handle more. That's showing that you can handle more. How can you get the big stuff if you can't even care for the little stuff that you're calling little? And so, I would be doing some emotional freedom technique on that because it's no good to be OCD'd out. It's just not. There's a reason behind why you feel like you need the control. It's a control thing. Like you feel like you need to control. There's something behind it, and it's worth looking into. It's worth looking at and forgiving. It's worth doing EFT over. If you don't know how to do it, you can Google it. It'll show you complete instruction. I've done that to several of my children before and been completely healed off of hang-ups that they've had. One of my daughter Maddie, had anxiety when she was younger, and we used to do EFT, and she's completely relieved of it. And so there's just different ways to approach this, but most definitely worth looking into. Instead of just having that be your title, I have OCD, so I don't clean behind vases, or I can't allow any kind of food in my house. You're controlling someone else as well, which is also always going to be kind of it can cause sometimes it can cause a lot of friction. I think, there's one thing to say in having some rules. I get that. I really do. But if you yourself are saying that it's coming out of a form of control, then, instead of, hey, let's not do food and drink, like instead of like someone who's saying, hey, let's not do food and drink in here. That way we don't have to like clean the car on a Saturday all day. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Do we agree? Okay, good. But versus saying, oh no, and controlling something. There's a difference, and I know you feel it in your gut if that is where it's coming from. It's just worth looking into and worth looking at. So taking care of the home is all a part of it's really a gateway. I'm telling you, if we can to take care of our homes in the best possible way, to love our families and be a good servant of what we have, and to be blessed, feeling gratitude, feeling empowered, gaining momentum and keeping it clean, spending a little time each day and tackling parts of our house and getting them fresh and clean, leaving minimally in terms of, getting rid of things you don't use. We can give to people who don't have much so they can have some of what we have. So get in those closets and declutter and give to people who need it. It does get very overwhelming at times. And the only reason why it gets overwhelming is because you're not doing it. And I say that because that was me. And so that's what the planner's for. That's what your planner's for. You get in there. That's what that whole book is about, is every day you have a job. Anything that is not on that agenda to do, you just don't do it because you don't have to worry about it, because in your planner, 2 days down the road, you're doing that. So, and like for me, when I started to get in there, I started to really gain momentum. And I really wanted to get that freezer cleaned out. That was not a big deal to me. It wasn't overwhelming because I had it written down. I knew what I was doing that whole day. What will people think of me as a woman, wife, and mom? What will they think of you if you're your real you, Kimberly? Is that what you mean? Because that is all a part of self-esteem and confidence and part of your journey that you need to open up and be raw about. I think that if, Lucy, I love you. Honestly, yeah, this is awesome, actually, Kimberly. This is really, really awesome, because this is opening up the doors for you to grow. We've all been there. We all think that way. What will someone think about? What will someone, people pleaser. I had people pleaser syndrome. That was me. I was a chameleon. I would be a chameleon around people. I would feel the vibration and I would change to be what they wanted me to be. That is what I did all of the time. That's what I did, because the real me, they wouldn't have liked that. If I was feeling something or feeling a certain way or a little bit down or not as happy as I usually am, or would they think of me differently? What if I felt a certain way? If I expressed it, they might think I'm dumb, or they might think I'm dumb, or they might think that, this way of me or that way about me. Or if I show this off, what will they think of me? Or, it's time to look at that and to begin the process of uncovering who you are and being real to people every day, taking a point and to just be real and to express yourself and not be afraid of the outcome, and loving yourself and loving others more. So a lot of times what I did to be able to overcome this was first I had to set some boundaries against situations and people that I couldn't change right away because it was too in my face all the time. And so I would have to back away because it wasn't me. It was me who needed to change. Okay. It was me. And it wasn't, whatever is going on, it's always you. It's always you. So I needed to go back and, it was no one I had to blame or no one I was pointing fingers at. I knew I had work to do on myself. And so sometimes you got to step back in order to find out what's going on. And I had to do that for a little bit in my life and find out what's making me so unconfident, what's making me be such a people pleaser, what's going on. Then I had to go through a phase of where I was pointing fingers. Then I had to realize again, it was me. In terms of my reaction or me doing that was only keeping the whole cycle going. It was a codependency relationship-wise I was in that was, they felt my vibration is being felt, and it was a cyclical motion. So I needed to stop that. Once I stopped that, then I no longer had that. So once I began to be me and be free of it, all it takes is one time really to just go out there and just say something that is you. Of course, you don't go and just, you know what I mean, where you're just going, you're expressing how you feel about something and you're not afraid of the outcome and you try it. And it's scary at first because I would do it. And I would say, you know what, I don't feel like doing it this time, but I do love you. I just don't want to do it. And that was hard for me. And I was like, it was like one of those kind of things. And it was awesome. It was so freeing. It was like, wow, I could do that again. I can do that again. It was so freeing. It's like I can actually say how I feel and what I don't want to do and how I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. It was more that because I was always doing stuff for people regardless whether I wanted to or not. And it was killing me. It was absolutely killing me. And so I started to begin to do those kind of things. So then, you run into things where people... here's one also trick if it comes to people with, that you might be thinking about, this is one of the things I've learned lately, that if you have something that's kind of going on where there's certain people that trigger you to behave in a certain way or trigger you to, exactly, Kimberly, this is what you need to do, is that you can set up the boundary. I don't want to confuse you either with this next one, but I hope it doesn't. But it's a little bit different. But if something in your thoughts, if there's a trigger of someone, and then you start to feel a negative emotion, okay. What I have found that, because you ever have that? Who has that? Where there's like people in your life that negatively can trip you up, okay. So then your mind goes back, okay. And it remembers, took a snapshot because it's emotionally triggering, okay? And so you're thinking of someone and so it triggers you, okay? And so then you don't make a move in that relationship in any way. You actually reserve yourself and you hold back and you're conditional with that person because of the fact that you have a negative emotion about what that person did or what that person has done or who they are, okay? So that actually is debilitating to you because of the fact that, and especially if they're close to you in the family, okay? Because you can't really get rid of people in your family that easy, okay? And nor do you really want to, okay? And if you get rid of everybody in your life, then you'll be left with no one. And that's not how you live and that's not how you do. Now, only in certain circumstances should you do that. And maybe it has to be just a brief time. But you can't say, well, they caused me problems, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them off for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Goodbye, Mom. It's just only in certain circumstances would you do that. So, but sometimes for a little bit, and then you can come back when you have worked on you, because it comes back to you. Well, what you can do is, instead of thinking about it and then, kid gets in the car and then you're distracted again and you're living life, okay? Those things are still sitting in there hot and heavy in your head and they just pop up for your life, okay? Which is debilitating because of the functionality of yourself, how you've not moved on. It creates disease and rashes on your body, and it is a dis-ease. It's dis-ease within your system. That is something that the kind of clearing you need to do every day. So when those kind of things pop up, this is what I've done. It's a miracle. And it's so simple, okay? And it's so simple that you don't do it. But when those kind of negative things come up, I was like, you know what? I'm done doing that. I looked at it for what it was. It was raw and it was ugly. And I looked at it and I got emotional about it. And then I just completely forgave it. I just forgave the situation, forgave the person, forgave me, forgave everything about it. And all of a sudden I felt, in replace of it, I felt love. And for the first time, felt free. And when you do that, you're doing it for you. You're doing it for you so you can get rid of the dis-ease in your body. When you do that, now when you talk to that person, when you reach out to that person, when you see that person, you are loving them fiercely instead of loving them with a condition. And when you do that, the reception back is what you've put out. So when you approach someone and you're with someone that you've got a bad vibe about, that you don't like, and you're always thinking about them, and then when you see them, then that vibration is there. And so you're just going to see exactly what you think about them in your mind. So you're only going to get a reflection. Your whole life is a reflection anyway. Your life is a reflection of your thoughts and your feelings. So when you have that in your life, then you know that you've got work to do. You've got something you've got to get rid of. And this is how disease begins, is because of those things that fester within your mind, and they sit in your heart. And so that's where the forgiveness comes in, and that's where you come in and you look at it, and you look at it raw, and you look at it and you forgive it, and you let it go. Oh, hi, Rocco. I love you. I don't see you at all, and I need to see you more. Hi, Sue. I love you. So that is very, 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 very simple and a beautiful way to be able to shed baggage in your life, so that when you see someone that you used to have trouble with, you can actually love them like crazy, and not in a conditional way, but in a unconditional way, which is what we're called to do. But we all the time are very conditional in how we are. We're always conditional. We don't think that we are, but we are. If it's like, well, if that person's going to act that way, watch this. You know what I mean? You got this little attitude, or your posture, your vibration when you walk in a room during the holidays. Yeah, you're just like, really, you're held back, you're reserved, you're conditional. The best way to do it is to take it and look at it and to forgive it. There's always a reason why other people act the way they do anyway. And it comes from the same thing. It's from pain. It's from past traumas. It's from other things that are hanging them up. Okay, it's not personal. We need to forgive it, and we need to let it go, and then love them hard. Just love them hard with all of you. It enables you to love unconditionally. You're not even trying. It's just you don't have a hang up. And so love is easy. That's what unconditional love is. Love just comes. It's just easy. You love them. Unconditional love means you've got some sort of inside that's causing you to be conditional. It's causing you to be reserved. It's causing you to not love them fully because you're on guard. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of, and you're just loving them, and where you are, you're free. You're coming from a free place. You're coming from an unconditional place. You're coming from a forgiven place. We've gone way off track, but I felt in my heart that I needed to share that. I think it's important because cleaning the home comes from the heart, you guys. So this all comes from the heart. This was a long conversation, but I feel that let's be good stewards of our home. Let's clean out the clutter of our hearts, and that outpours to the rest of our lives. If we can clean our homes, girls, we can write a New York Times bestseller. It all starts with the home, guys. If we can, it starts with the little things. It starts with the little things, and decluttering every section of our heart and where things are stemming from, so we can be free. And we can be free to love. We can be free to serve. We can be free to serve the community and our families, and we can love ourselves, and we can forgive ourselves. That's a huge part of it as well, is just to forgive ourselves of being how we were, or beating ourselves up. And it's time to be ourselves. It's time to love ourselves enough to let ourselves show. It's time to be free to speak how we feel and be free about it, and to be confident of who God created us to be. and not be afraid of that anymore. And to know for the first time that you really are equipped with everything that you need to be your complete self, because God equips you. It's time to get rid of trying to fix everything and to let God get in. And so we always let that ego get in the way, which is Dwayne Dreyer, I think is his name. I mean, he said that stands for edging God out, which I really like. It was, Kimberly, I just love it. I love it. I love it. You don't want to edge God out. You don't want that ego facade to be what's standing behind you and you. You want to be able to step out and be unforgiving about expressing who you are. Be unforgiving when it comes to just, when I'm saying that, I mean, don't be apologizing for things that are you. Don't be upset that you've got to say no to someone. Don't be ashamed to stand up and express who you are, be who you are, and get out there and be you, because that is what is so great, is that it's you. And so it's time to just be ourselves and be unforgiving about expressing that and being who we are and how we feel, and just be our joyful, loving, amazing selves by doing a little bit of some of that soul searching. So girls, here's to us and cleaning our homes and being good stewards of the homes, and being our true selves. And by doing all of this, we really get to see who we really are, and we can start to change who we are on the inside by all these little things that stop us. We can clean those out. We can be our true selves. I love you girls, and until next time we're together.